Welcome to 2-minute classes. We will discuss a simple example of Python. So, our program is that you have to input a float number and display its integer and floating part separately. Suppose my input is 1.25. So, your output should be integer part is 1 and float part is 0.25 or like 0.24999. So, how are we going to proceed with the logic? Suppose the input number is 1.25. So, I can easily find the integer part of it by doing the typecasting. This is known as typecasting, which we already do while taking the input of integer. So, how I will do it? I will write int and then in bracket I will write the value whose integer part I want to extract. So, this will give me 1. Now for floating part, you cannot simply write float. You have to find out floating part by subtracting the number, like by subtracting integer part from the number. So float part is going to be number minus integer part, which is 1.25 minus 1, which will be 0.25. So logic is simple, but sometimes it is difficult to realize. Now let us move to our program. Firstly, I will input the number int input. Here also we are doing the typecasting while taking the input. So typecasting in Python is done by writing the the data type, and then within the bracket you write the variable or the value which you want to typecast. Enter the number. Okay, over here we need to enter the float number because the floating number needs to be separated into integer and floating parts. So now I will write integer part equal to int and then number. So I am simply typecasting the number into integer, so it will extract its integer part. Now float part equal to, that will be equal to number minus integer part. So the program is very simple. Now I will print both the things. For number the integer part is integer part and the float part is float part. Okay, so I will just do an enter over here to make it more readable. Okay, so integer part is this and float part is this. Now let us execute this example. Okay, enter the number. So I will enter the number as 1.25. So for the number 1.25, the integer part is 1 and the float part is 0.25. We can try it for some other example also. Suppose I take the example as 1.9876. This example I take. So for number this, the integer part is 1 and the float part is this. So why it is giving this kind of output? Because in computer the last digit is stored in form of floating notation. So like 98765, this 5 is not actually 5, this is stored as 4.9999. So whenever you are displaying it, it will automatically round off the last digit. Okay, so this is how our example looks like.